Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Coop Chicks in Charge podcast. And we are rolling on with our She Shines Spotlight series, where you all get to meet our fantastic She Shines speakers. She stands for smart, honest, and empowered. And that is what we want you to feel, not even just feel in your house, but come feel it in sunny Scottsdale. And that is where we're inviting you to meet us all in person and have a day of connection, all about leadership and relationships. So today in our podcast, I have the privilege to talk to Karianne Munstedt. And you are a portrait photographer and you are body positivity. And I cannot wait to meet you in person and to hear your She Shines story.
Well, thank you so much for having me today, and I'm so excited to meet you in person as well, and to meet everybody at the conference and get to share a little bit more about my story too.
Yeah, so tell us, how did you end up a photographer? Were you one of those that you just were interested in it when you were a kid, or how did that develop?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was interested in photography as a kid. In fact, I'm just looking around my space right now. I still have my little teeny tiny plastic pink camera. That was my very first camera that was given to me. Um, but so I was interested in photography, but then, like as we grow up, I mean, just, our interests change, and we do what we think that we're supposed to do in life. And so I definitely put the photography away, and, did the things in life that I thought I was supposed to do. And, took jobs that I thought that I was supposed to do, all the really adult things. Found myself working at a university, and I was there for 17 years. I was actually an assistant dean at the university.
Oh, wow.
And there was one point where I just kind of looked around, and it was a great job, right? It was a great place to go to, great people. It was a great job, but I looked around and I'm just like, this is doing nothing for my soul, right? Like, what am I doing for this world right now? I know that I'm writing reports and that's all good and everything, but like, what? It's not fulfilling my soul. So I really turned back to like, what did I enjoy as a kid? What were things that I liked to do? And photography kind of came back up again for me. And we're talking, that was like, almost 25 years probably later, 20 years later. And, I got involved in a local photography group doing landscape photography. And then I started doing photographing families and kids at the parks and stuff like that. And I just knew that that wasn't really my path. It wasn't what was lighting me up. And so I started building my website, and I was looking for pictures of myself one day, and I was like, wow, I really don't have many pictures of myself because I had gained weight, and I, shied away from the camera because I didn't want to see how I looked in pictures, right? So I went and I had a photography session, and I don't want to go into too much of it because I'm going to be talking about the story when we actually do the conference. But I had a photo session that changed my whole perspective of photography, of myself, and it really changed my whole mission to come back and really start photographing women to help them feel as empowered through photography and through their photographs as I felt when I was photographed in a really wonderful way. So that's kind of, how it all worked. And then, a couple of years later, I kind of built the photography business on the side. A couple of years later, went full time with it. And now I've been doing this full time for, I think I'm in my 6th year right now. So it's been a wonderful ride.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
yeah.
It's just something, gosh, about women. We often say that the moms are the ones that are always behind the lens, right? And not
100%.
in front of it. And so then you end up, even though we've got all these digital photos, but then you're not in it very much. And then if you are in it, then you're thinking, well, I've been busy running around and like, I didn't want to be photographed like that. But do you feel like there has been a shift though? And really thanks to social media too, that I feel like people don't necessarily feel like they have to show up being perfect on social anymore. Like I find myself even like, if I've got something to say and I've been to a hot works class and I am red and sweaty and all that, like I'll still just go on and just say it because I know if I don't, I'm probably not going to do it at all.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
see that as a shift or
There
no?
is definitely a shift. I love everything you're saying. So I have a hashtag that I use for so much of my business. It's real is the new perfect, right? Because being
Love it.
real is the new perfect. We don't have to be perfect anymore. And I think that everyone is at a different stage with this. I think that our older generation, as every generation goes through, I think people are getting more and more comfortable showing up as their authentic selves, right? But so much of of what I listen to anyway, of the books that I read and the people that I hear speaking, talking about authenticity and showing up more real, and that we don't have to be perfect anymore. So I feel like there is definitely a shift. I feel like there is a lot more emphasis on body positivity these days as well, about just showing up in the body that you're in. And yeah, we might not like love every aspect of our bodies all the time, right? Like I still wish I didn't have so much of a double chin and all the things, right? But I
Yeah.
do, and it's okay that I still show up in pictures with a double chin. Like it is what it is. Like
Yeah.
there are way more interesting things about me than my double chin, right? And so to be putting that out there, and I feel the more that I put the imperfections out there, the more people really lean in, because that's what's real life, right? That's not perfect, it's real. So I definitely see a big shift. And like I said earlier, everyone is kind of in their own journey with this. So some people feel very comfortable. I do. I put all the things out there on social media. Some people are still, still do not want to show a certain side to themselves. But I definitely think that the world is going more and more towards being accepting of us at whatever we are showing.
Yeah. Well, and what you do as a brand photographer too, that is so fascinating because okay. So, I was actually talking to my sister the other night. She came over, we had a glass of wine. We were just a year apart. So this would be in the like 90 and 91 that we had our senior high school photos taken. Well, back in the day, there would be, and we were from a small town. So there's like one or two, good photographers, and they're studio photographers. You never went out in the wild to take your picture. Like you went in, you had this pose. For those of you on YouTube, you can see you had the lead here. There were like 5 or 6 poses that every single person did.
Right.
And so therefore and then we're in the same studio. So, oh, you chose the blue background instead of the green background, whatever. But beyond that, it was not original or creative or anything. So now, like, you must have such a heyday being able to brainstorm with everyone that you shoot on, like really bringing out, like, yes, let me have your hobbies and your interests, and bringing in
Yes.
props and going to locations. I mean, that has to be so freaking cool.
Really is. I mean, what a honor to be in charge, not charged with, but to be responsible for helping someone bring their brand to life, right? Because especially when we are like solopreneurs or we have small teams, our brands are really ourselves, right? So the things that are really unique about us are what we want to bring through in people's brand pictures, right? So yes, so it's so fun to brainstorm and find out, like, how they want how they want people to view them when they see their pictures, right? How what they want people to feel when they see their pictures, what their hobbies and interests are. Yes, so I do have a studio as well. I would say that we have more than 5 poses and more than a couple of backdrops.
Yeah,
It's
for
a
sure.
little different experience than what you experience.
Yeah.
But that's always a question too, like, right, does being photographed in my studio, is that the right place for us, or is there someplace else, like somewhere or a couple other locations that really make sense for your brand for us to photograph you at,
Mhm.
right? So a lot of times it's in studio, but a lot of times we're either outdoors someplace, or we rent a nice Airbnb somewhere. There's all sorts of different things. But yeah, I love it when we're able to bring out people's hobbies. I've done pictures of people roller skating before. I've done pictures of people knitting. I mean, you name it, I probably photographed them doing that, because those are the things that are interesting about us and that set us apart and make us different as business owners, right? So that's what we want to show to everyone. And it's like I said, it's just such an honor to help bring that all to life.
Yeah. Well, and I love this conversation so much because I'm already seeing, as me getting the big picture view of me getting to talk to each of you, each of our speakers, and
Yeah.
seeing how the puzzle all fits together. because I just right before you and I got on here, I talked to Dr. Nadia Brown, and we were talking about sales as relationships.
Yeah.
And of course, that fits right in line with what you're talking about. We're going to convey our brand through photography. And because we're going to feel really good about it and confident, and your photos are so gorgeous. And so we're going to put in show notes. We want everyone to check out her work, and then definitely right after that, book your ticket so you can come see us in person. But that, and then, you know, talking to Shannon Hernandez about your marketing message, that being joyful, like none of this has to be complicated and hard and heavy. Like, we can have fun with it and really show who we are, and our messaging can be conversational. Our photos can be whatever that brand is, if it's strong or fun or Karianne, I'm getting ready to do a shoot here in a couple weeks. My new branding is, I call it Brand Disco Rodeo. So I am literal, and then brand shoot, CHUTE, is what I call my social storytelling package that I do. And so I'm literally going to go to Guthrie, Oklahoma, to the Lazy E Arena, and I'm going to be all sparkly and fun and bring my disco balls as our props. Right. And I have this 1960s like little vintage video camera. And because of course so much now, I mean, I do so much just, you know, on my phone. And so just fun props like that. I'm like, I've been like, why have I kept that thing around for all these years? I bought it.
There's a reason for it after all.
I know. I saw it on my shelf and I'm like, oh, it doesn't just have to be a bookend. Like, I'm going to use that in my shoot.
No, I love it, right? Because those are bringing out the unique personality about who you are and what you do. And, you know, there's lots of photographers out there. There's lots of people who do what we each do, right? Yes. But us bringing our personality out is what's going to set us apart and what's going to draw people into us, you know? So I love that you're doing that and you're setting yourself apart and you're going to go have fun with it. You know, I know Shannon Hernandez, I know Nadia Brown, I know La Vista, I know them all. And I love that we're all talking about relationships, right? And creating those relationships, and everything that we're doing, whether it's our marketing or sales or photography or podcast or whatever it is, it's all about building relationships and about bringing joy and ease into our businesses. It doesn't have to be hard, and we can have so much fun with it. So I love that we're all kind of on that same wavelength.
Yeah. Well, and even just the fact that of calling it She Shines. And I have, so the disco ball, for those of you who are on YouTube, you can see. So that is really that's my branding, as the disco ball. And you wait till you see the goodies that I have for you guys at the conference. Like, it's so freaking cute. I cannot wait.
Is there going to be a disco ball in something? Is there going to be a disco ball in it?
Oh yeah. You know, there's gonna be so many disco balls. And and just the fact, of course, that, you know, you've got the big ball in the sky. The sun is amazing. So I cannot wait to get out there and have some pool time and have our Airbnb, you know, full of fabulous women and friends that I get to connect with, and that we all love to learn together. And I think that's what I love so much about building community. And that's what my talk's going to be at the conference, is really the 5 C's to creating a happier community, because that is also possible. It does take some work, but that's what we're here for, is to create a fabulous community where we're going to lift each other up. And so this is just sort of like a little microcosm of that, all of us gathering in, you know, Old Town Scottsdale to really help each other, like, be the best leaders that we can be, and like take things to the next level. Because what I found is, like, that's what we have in common. We all love to grow and learn and support one another. And we're like, well, how can I help you? Well, then how can I help you? And it's really a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yes. You know, to show up in our vulnerability and put away the pretense that we have to be perfect when we're all there together, right? Just show up as our real selves and learn from each other and enjoy the time together. I love it. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was talking to someone the other day, Karianne, and they were saying like they have professional photos, and I know that you probably have a lot of people that come to you and they're super nervous the first time about just putting themselves, just being in front of the camera at all, but especially that weight of like, oh, this is supposed to represent, my company or my brand or the services I provide. But then, so to take that and then you ask someone, which I do, is to ask them to be on video. It's like they would rather go try to run a marathon than to be on video. And so,
you know what I hear people say? I hear them say that they would rather go get a root canal than have a photo session done.
Oh my gosh. Well, my recommendation for people that say that though, Karianne, is like, if I like baby steps. So I say, trust me to at least like you go do a brand photo shoot, and then I will take those photos and I will incorporate them in your video, and we can do some quote unquote faceless video. Like you could even narrate or whatever. Like if you are that right, like if you're that uncomfortable about speaking on camera yet, like let's start with get some gorgeous photos, because yes, they're going to look so much better than anything that we take by ourselves, even if you have the fanciest, most expensive phone. And then, so that's what I love too, is like, there is a solution for everything. And we can support each other through it, make recommendations. One of the things that the first Monday of every month, I have a goal getters session here in the morning. We plan out our month, like set goals for like our different life areas. And then we talk about it and we just share and say like, okay, we call them, frogs. If you have read that book, Eat That Frog.
I don't think I've heard of it. I haven't read it. Yeah.
So, and I use the acronym for FROG, focus realizes our goals, and focus reaches our goals. And so by focusing on that and making that the thing that you want to accomplish, we're going to make it happen. And so just the brainstorming and the sharing with the women, even this morning, I'm so excited actually about tackling my goal list now because of the input and stuff. And that's the kind of thing that we'll do for each other at our roundtable, discussions when we get together in April too. And so I'm so glad that you are going to be a part of that. Picture your potential. And it is about all year, we're talking about unlocking our highest potential as leaders. And that includes understanding relationships. And relationships are hard because people be peopling. People be peopling. And so to understand how to really navigate relationships is so, so important. And so I love that that what you do is right in there with that. And we're gonna show people their best selves and potential, and then be able to work together to unlock that. And so I wanted to kind of finish our talk today, Karianne, with how do you personally unlock your highest potential?
Oh, that is a great question.
What do you think? What do you think that is?
That's a really great question. You didn't give me any time to think about this one. No, but honestly, though, I mean, I think that it happened years ago. Honestly, when I had a photo shoot that was like my very first best photo shoot ever, and I got these photos back, right? And then of course I went into it really nervous and all the things, but I got these photos back, and like I'm looking at this picture of myself, right? And I'm not seeing the clothes that I don't think are good enough and the body that's not good enough, right? Like I am seeing my soul reflected back at me, and I'm seeing I'm about to step into this new realm of being a business owner and being this, great photographer. And like I saw that person staring back at me, and that photo was really what unlocked that potential in me to really take those steps forward to stepping into that woman that I saw looking back at me. And that's what we're going to talk more about in my talk as well, right? Like, and of course, every year things shift a little bit, but that moment was really when it really unlocked that potential for me. And I have just kept stepping in and taking, that woman has evolved every year since then, right?
Yeah.
But I just keep stepping into this next version of myself. But that moment was really where it all started for me.
Oh, that's so cool. So yeah, that aha moment of just like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And to see that, on screen. And I love that. I just had a client that did a brand shoot here in my space here because we have a lot of natural light, and there's so much trust involved because there is that resistance, and it's a man, but men have that resistance too.
100%. It's not just women, it's men as well.
Yeah.
100%.
And
Yeah.
so just to feel like that they have the trust in you, to say like, I'm, here you go. And then, I already got some photos back, and it's like, it's really going to up level his brand so much. And so I love that that's what you do to help people, because believe me, we entrepreneurs, we need all the help we can get. There's just so much and so many different hats that we wear. And so that's an important thing. So
It's really
well,
important.
thank you so much for introducing yourself today. I'm going to put, all the contact information in our show notes. And I will also, Karianne has a discount code as well. And so we'll put that promo code in the notes. And we look forward to seeing you guys April 11th and 12th in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. And
Scottsdale, Arizona. It's so lovely here right now. I'm just going to continue on for the next month.
Yes. Yay. Okay. Well, Karianne, I will see you then. Thanks so much for listening, everyone.
Thank you.